Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Sean's Horror Corner. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everybody tuning in. And today I'm super excited to welcome back Aaron from A&B Horror Movies. Aaron, thank you so much for coming on, sir.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. How you doing, Sean? This is going to
I'm
be awesome.
doing well. Thank you so much. You're doing well, I assume.
I'm doing great. It's been a
All
long week, but
right. Yes, I agree with
yes,
that
we're
100%.
surviving.
We are. We're making it. And tomorrow's Friday, so even better.
Even better. Yes.
Aaron and I have been going through the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. We've gotten through the first three movies. We're going to talk about the fourth one tonight, which is going to be fun to talk about. I'm really curious to hear Aaron's takes on some things. But before we jump into that, before we get started, Aaron, go ahead and take a minute to talk about what you do, promote anything you have coming up, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. So thank you for having me, Sean. I can't wait to jump into A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Let's see, Aaron here from A&B Horror Movies on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram at Aaron's Movies 8587, where I geek out and talk about all my physical media and horror collectibles. Coming up on YouTube, the next video I'm posting, so when this airs, this video will be live, was my interview with Ira Hayden, who is Will Stanton or the Wizard Master from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. So that's my next interview that's going up.
Very cool. Yes, definitely go check that out. And Aaron's collection just blows my mind sometimes. All of the different you and Brendan from Our Life in Horror. I've got some of
Yes.
those amazing stuff. Like it just blows my mind. And Frank as well. Like Frank's got tons of stuff. And I'm just like, wow, these people have so much stuff. Like I think I'm doing well, and then I see all the stuff, and I'm like, this is incredible.
Yeah, their collections are so damn impressive, right? Every time we have Frank on, I'm always afraid his wall of movies,
I know.
which goes floor to ceiling. How
Yes.
impressive is that? I'm always afraid it's going to come crashing down on
Yeah.
him. I hope it never happens. And
No.
and Brandon too. My God, what a collection!
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Do you know how many movies you have? Like, do you even have any idea?
I have no clue.
Okay.
In fact, I did order 2 new shelves. I just haven't put them together yet.
Okay.
To be honest, I have like 3 full-size suitcases filled with movies because I've run out of space.
Run out
And
of
I
room.
can't tell you how many times I've had to go through those 3 suitcases because a movie that I'm looking for is not on my shelf. Um, so I'm in desperate need of getting some new shelves up just to
I get
save
it.
some sanity.
I'm kind of in that same boat right now, actually. So I completely understand. In fact, my son, I feel like I get some shelves, I get some things put up, and then I turn around and I'm like, I need more shelves. And he's like, you say that every week. And I'm like, well, I need them every week. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Problem is real. Yes,
Yes, it is.
absolutely. The other day I was trying to find a movie. I was like, I know I bought this. It was Sleepaway Camp 3. I
Okay.
resorted to going to Amazon and looking past at my past orders, and there it was, or Best Buy, I forget which. And so I was like, I ordered it, so it's in my house somewhere. And I found it last night, and it
Okay.
was like finding treasure. I'm like, oh
Yes.
my God, here it is. Because it was so annoying on my shelves. I had Sleepaway Camp 1 and Sleepaway Camp 2, but not 3.
Yeah, that would drive me crazy. Yeah, I'm so OCD about making sure everything's together and stuff like that. So I completely get it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, very cool, very impressive. And we've talked about it already before, but you also have, and I'm hopefully going to have soon. You recently showed to me that they were putting it out again. But I recently went to that horror convention, and I had
This right?
yes, that 4K box set is so cool. It's so great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Um, yeah, very
I
nice.
kind of wish they had done like a Friday the 13th play like they did with Scream Factory, but it's still
Right.
cool. They went with the sweater. And
Yeah, I think it's so
still
cool.
cool.
And when you showed me they had put it back out again, I'm like, I have so much money wrapped up in this convention right now that I can't. But give me a
Oh,
minute, and hopefully I'll be able to pull it off. So
yeah. Hopefully
yeah,
it's
we'll see what
still.
happens. Yeah.
Hopefully it'll still be available. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to talk about A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Um, Before we start really getting into everything, though, I'll ask you this again. I'm sure anybody watching this has probably already seen it. There's my dog chiming in. Has probably already seen this movie. But before we get into the plot and really start talking about it too much, give me your spoiler-free thoughts on this one.
I love part 4. In fact,
Okay.
watching it last night, I rewatched it again last night in 4K for the first time. And I don't know, it looks of the four that I've rewatched so far in 4K, I feel like part 4 looked the best in 4K. It looked super clear. Um, it was almost like rewatching it again for the first time. I love the plot. I love the characters so much to the point that I'm sad when some of them start to perish, you know?
Okay.
And again, it's part of my youth. I love the whole Alice storyline. Is it the best? Is it better than Dream Warriors? Maybe not, but it holds up pretty well, I think. I had
Okay.
a good time with it last night, and I'd forgotten how fantastic the soundtrack is.
Yeah, the soundtrack is amazing. I completely agree. For me, I do like this one. Maybe
Mhm.
not quite as well as you do. It sounds like for me, and we talked about this
That's okay.
a little bit on the last episode. Some
Yeah.
people talk about when the franchise kind of starts to go off the rail and becomes more comedy than horror. And I know some
Mhm.
people think that somewhat starts in three. I see hints of it in three, but I still think three has some good horror aspects as well. It's
Mhm.
this one for me where that comedy starts to overtake the horror a little bit, and
Mhm.
it gets a little different at times. Again, not that I don't like it, I like it. Um, it's just not one of my more favorites in the franchise, um, because I prefer. I mean, Freddy's funny. His one-liners are great. I do appreciate them tremendously, but I just prefer the
Yeah, for sure.
scarier Freddy a little bit. Like I want it to be more horror.
Mm.
It's so funny to me because I've said this before. I'm typically not a big fan of horror comedies. There are some out there that I really like, but most of the time I just don't think they're balanced well enough. I used to feel that way about Evil Dead. Now, Brendan from Our Life in Horror, he and
Mhm.
I have been going through the Evil Dead franchise, and so I've gone back and watched
Hell
all
yeah.
of those recently. And my opinion has changed so much on those first three movies over time. I used to think they were silly, and I really enjoy them now. So,
Mhm.
I guess it just depends. But I just feel like there's a little more of the silliness, in my opinion, in this one, but it's still got some good parts as well, and still enjoyable.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll talk about the effects, some of the best
Sure.
kills and effects in this one, and even up until this point, I would say better than
Yeah,
the other three. Maybe that's
that's fair.
controversial,
No, that's
but
fair. There's one in here
that's
that I
my take
really
on it.
like, so we'll get to
Mhm.
that. All right, let me put my glasses
Oh
on so
yeah.
I can read, and then we'll cover a few things here real quick. So, Nightmare on Elm Street 4: The Dream Master. Tagline for the film: Terror beyond your wildest dreams. Brief synopsis for this one: Freddy Krueger returns once again to terrorize the dreams of the remaining Dream Warriors, as well as those of a young woman who may be able to defeat him for good. Film released August 19th of 1998. Directed by Rennie Harlan, distributed by New Line Cinema, a runtime of 93 minutes, $6.5 million budget, $49.4 million at the box office, so still did incredibly well. A few of the cast members: Robert Englund, Lisa Wilcox, Danny Hassel, Tuesday Night, Brooke Theiss, Ken Sagos. I'll stop there. Aaron, give me your thoughts on the cast and the characters for this one.
The cast is great, I think. We had some of the originals back from 3 for a little bit,
Right.
except for Kristen. Um, and then, of course, Robert Englund is legendary. I think Lisa Wilcox is perfectly cast in this movie. Probably her best performance. Well, yeah, best performance. She was only in 5, but her
Yeah.
best performance, I guess, compared to that. Um,
Sure.
I think it was one of those instances where it was meant to be that she would play Alice. I
Mm,
think Toy Newkirk is fantastic as the kind of dorky teenager, and Brooke Theiss is, as her hot friend. I mean,
right.
she's great too. I love her sort of her like workout
Yeah.
focus,
Yeah.
and then is it Danny Hassel?
Yes.
Actually, just saw him briefly at MonstaCon or
Oh,
Monsta
really?
Expo in New Hampshire. He
Okay.
was seated right next to Lisa Wilcox. Um,
Nice.
it was either Danny or Tiffany Shepis, and I went for Tiffany.
Fair.
Yeah, I could have
Okay.
done him too, but I went with her, and she was so much fun. It was so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I kind of wish I had stopped by Danny's table too. And Lisa, I have her autograph, and I've been able to join a couple Zooms with her. I've never interviewed her on my show, but I would love to.
Right.
I'm going off the rails a little bit. I think the
Okay.
casting is great. I think they're all very talented. Is it Andrus? What's his last name? Andrus Jones?
Oh,
Oh
I
my
believe
gosh,
so. Yes.
Andrus
I,
something. I can remember his. I can remember his first name, and I'm drawing a blank on his last name. Um, but he's awesome too. So he was in.
yeah.
Uh, what is it? Slime Ball, Sorority Babes, and the Slime Ball.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of names in here. Again, Robert England, just so iconic. I mean, we all already know
Mhm.
that, but and we've talked about this before. I know multiple other people have said it. With the announcement of the new A Nightmare on Elm Street film that Paramount is going to be doing, um, I don't know. I guess I'm excited. I want to see what's going to happen because I've said for a while that I would like to see this franchise continue. I'd like to see something new from it. Now, at the
Mhm.
same time, I've also been of the mindset that it's going to be almost impossible for anybody to do Freddy the way Robert England did. I'm
Mhm.
not a huge fan, and you and I'll get to it eventually on that remake. I just don't feel like Freddy's the same. But it's been
Oh
long enough
gosh, we're gonna
now.
talk about that one too. Oh
Eventually,
boy.
I know might be a short episode, but we'll try. Um, but yeah, it's been long enough now that maybe I'm a little more open to seeing
Excuse
someone
me.
else give Freddy a shot. Who would you
Mhm.
like to see play Freddy? Just out of curiosity.
You know what? I can't even begin to venture because I'm still sort of processing that Robert Englund has officially retired. Um,
Right.
which is too bad because I feel like he could come back as Freddy with all the makeup,
Yeah.
because obviously he's older now, but I think he could do it. So I would like him to do it. I don't know. I've heard what Kevin Bacon was in the mix, but I think that might have been a joke. Um, I don't
Yeah,
know. Who
I
have you
think
thought of?
that's a good
Who do you
question,
think?
and I think the Kevin Bacon thing came from Robert England suggested that at one point that he
Oh,
thought
okay.
Kevin Bacon could do a good job,
Mhm.
but that's came out back in like 2010 when the new Nightmare had come out, and Robert England was asked about it. So that's been like 16 years ago. I don't know if Robert England doesn't want to go through the makeup and do all of this anymore because
Mhm.
he's gotten older. I can't imagine Kevin Bacon's going to want to sit through it a whole lot either. I mean, I
That's
just
true.
so
Aren't they
I
about the
don't
same age?
know.
I don't know.
At this point, I don't know. There was a name that I recently heard, and now I have just completely. I hate it when I do that. I have just completely drawn a blank. The actor, he is in 31. Um,
Oh,
played
Cheney Morrow?
no.
Oh no, the other guy. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the guy that's like the last villain there that's after her in 31, and he
Yes,
Richard. No, wow, I
31,
feel
right?
so bad.
I
I
think
feel
I have
so
his
bad.
autograph. I'm looking it up.
I'm wanting to say
Malcolm
break, but
McDowell.
I could be
Richard
completely
Brake.
wrong.
Richard Brake.
Okay.
Doomhead. Oh
Yes.
yeah, he
There we
would be
go.
good.
Yeah, I've heard that name mentioned recently.
Here,
Um,
look, I got his picture.
oh, very cool. Yeah, and I think he even briefly somebody asked him about it, and he talked about he would love to give it a shot. He thought it would be very difficult to live up to what Robert England did, but he would be interested in
Yeah.
giving it a shot. In some ways, I mean that might be good. I also heard somebody throw out Matthew Lillard's name. I've heard Jim
Mm,
Carrey's name get thrown out as a possibility.
mm,
Uh,
no.
I don't know. Yeah, I have a hard time with some of those. And at this point, I almost feel like maybe we just need somebody brand new. Maybe we don't need someone that
Yeah.
we're so familiar with. Maybe we need someone new to give this a shot and
Hmm.
see what they can do. Um, and try, if we can, to not compare them to Robert England. It's just been so long.
Yes. Well, and I hope they handle the story right because the
Yes.
remake. I don't want to get ahead of the remake. There
Right.
was a lot of misses there,
Sure.
and what's the actor in that? Is it?
Um,
I don't want to say
oh
James Earl
my,
Jones, but that's not it.
yeah, that's not it. But it is a three, and I
It's a
know he's,
three name.
yeah, and he's in the
Very talented
Watchmen.
actor, but
Yeah, super. Yeah,
gosh,
super good
they
actor.
really messed that one up.
Yeah, it just didn't work out. But
Mm.
all right, what about the story for this one? Cinematography, score. I mean, I know we mentioned how good the soundtrack was. What are your thoughts on like I said, the cinematography and the story primarily?
I think the cinematography it really shines in moments. That one scene when Kristen visitor, the one scene when Kristen has taken the sleeping pills and you have like the aerial view kind of like spinning
Yes.
around her,
Yeah.
almost like her downward spiral.
Right.
That I think is incredible.
I agree.
I love her I mean, I don't love it, but her death scene when Freddy throws her into the furnace and the way they film it, it's almost like you go into the furnace with her, but then you
Yes.
pull back out and you see her like melted in the boiling water and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I can't believe I just said "and stuff," melting in the boiling water.
Yeah.
And then you have Alice kind of tiptoeing through the boiler room.
Right.
That scene is amazing. Oh my God. And Kincaid's scene when they pull back out and it's like the labyrinth.
Yes.
That's just awesome.
Yeah, it looks very good.
So yeah, I'm a fan of the cinematography. I'm a fan of the story. I like that they brought Kristen's power back into the storyline and gave it to Alice in sort of a almost like an amped up way.
Right.
More like premonition as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm a fan. I think the story is clever. Some great kills, some great effects. I like it.
Absolutely. Okay. All right.
How about you? What do you think?
I mean, I do. I agree with you. The cinematography is really good. I do think there's some great shots in this. I like the story. I think it's done well. I too like the fact that, when they do that power transformation, like you said, there's also like a little bit more. I mean, she seems to also pick up the abilities of people that are dying, that kind of thing, and so they add to it a little bit, which it increases things. So I like that, and I also like the fact that they bring back for a little while, the Dream Warriors, but I also like the fact that Freddy handles them pretty easily. It doesn't have a lot of problems, which I appreciate, because I think at times where some of the later movies in this franchise, Freddy seems to become weaker at some point, which also makes him less scary, in my opinion. And the fact that he is able to handle these Dream Warriors who thought they were so great for beating him in the previous film, and he just comes back and wipes them out pretty easily. I like that. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of know it, right? You know they're not going to make it. And the other thing, it's like, well, how'd they get out of the hospital so easily?
That's a good point as well.
Out and
everybody's
back to high school.
Everybody's perfectly fine now.
We talked about this in therapy.
Yeah, I don't know that I would ever be fine if I had to live through that shit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, you kind of know they're going to be throwaway characters. I mean, maybe the first time I saw it, I hoped that they wouldn't be another Alice and Friday the 13th, but you kind of saw it coming.
Yeah, I think so. All right, let me just mention a couple real quick of production notes, and then we will get into the plot of this one. So Wes Craven had initially pitched an idea for the fourth film, but his idea involved time travel. The producers did not like that, so they turned it down and went with the Dream Master pitch that had come from William Kotzwinkle, I believe is how you say his name. Craven was a little frustrated, so when they approached him about doing rewrites, he turned that down as well. So a little bit of hurt feelings going on there, I'm assuming. Producers also felt like that they could no longer at this point replicate the scare factor and the fear of Freddy from the first two films. And so they wanted to go with a tone very similar to that third film, start making things more chaotic, lighter, that type of thing. Renee Harlan stated, this blows my mind that he made this statement, because I'm trying so hard to understand what Renee Harlan meant when he said this. But he stated that Freddy had become the James Bond of the franchise, and he felt like that audiences now see Freddy as a hero and are rooting for him. I get the rooting for him part. That part I understand, because I think that happens with a lot of these franchises that have been around for so long. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween. You go to those movies to see what Freddy and Jason and Michael are going to do, right? I mean, that's why you continue to go watch these things after a certain amount of time. So I get what he means by the audiences are rooting for Freddy. They're there to see Freddy. But I don't understand the comparison to James Bond, and I don't think Freddy's ever been looked at as a hero.
No. Yeah, no, that's a good one. I don't know. I would never think James Bond.
Yeah, just such an odd statement to me that I read that quite some time ago. I had forgot about it till I was working on putting this episode together, and I read it again, and I'm like, I'm going to ask, because maybe Aaron sees something that I don't see, because I just don't get it.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously not like the espionage element of it.
Sure.
If you think about all the James Bond films, James Bond is the center, and then you just have all these new characters that surround him. So that's kind of like Freddy. right?
Sure.
In part
That's
4,
fair.
we meet all these new characters. 5,
Right.
and then 6, all the new characters. And
Yeah. I just don't think
so,
Freddy's ever, and I get that. That's a good point. I don't think he's ever looked at as the good guy or the hero, but it is what it is.
no, of course not. But
Yeah.
he's sort of the hero you love to hate, right?
Right. He is. Yeah. He's a villain you love to hate. And that's what I think happens with a lot of these, again, like I said, these iconic slashers, Freddy, Jason, Michael, Chucky, Leatherface. I mean, again, that's what we go to these movies to see them and to see how creatively they're going to kill people and what's Freddy going to say this time, what's Chucky going to say this time. I mean, that's why we go, is because of them. So I completely get that part.
Absolutely.
Of it.
Yeah. For the thrill of it, right? Because
yeah.
you know these movies are predictable. You know they're going to get defeated in the end, even though they can't die. They're going to, and then they come back.
Yeah, that's why we keep going.
With the dog pissing flames.
I know, so hot. Patricia Arquette, she declined to return for this film. She did not want to be typecast as a horror actress, so she decided not to return from this movie. And that, you know, the rest of it is history, kind of like you mentioned. Maybe it was just the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I wonder if she regrets that now.
I don't know if she's ever. I'm sure somebody has probably asked her, and she's given an answer. I feel like she has to a little bit, right? I mean, she's had a good career, but I can just imagine looking back, you'd probably be like, I could have done that. I should have went ahead and did that.
That's true. Well, I'm sure Tuesday Night is very happy.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's probably thrilled.
Go ahead, I interrupted.
We'll get it. No, you're good. All right, we're going to get into the plot, walk through this now, start breaking this down a little bit. So we open this film up. We get this little girl who's drawing Freddy's house. Kristen is having this dream. She ends up in the house. She gets knocked down into the boiler room. She summons Kincaid and Joey, but Freddy doesn't appear. And so they begin to insist to her that Freddy's dead. She needs to basically stop this. What were your thoughts on this opening scene?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not as good as the opening of 3.
I agree.
I kind of wanted more, but I think they were intentionally holding back, right?
Yeah.
The resurrection of Freddy. But it's nice to see them all back. So that was kind of a nostalgic reunion element.
Yeah.
That little girl is creepy and scary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you 100%. And that's kind of the note that I made here. This doesn't stand out like 3 or even 1, and somewhere close to 1. It's a pretty mid opening, but to find something positive in it, the fact that we get to see the Dream Warriors back, for a moment. And I do like the fact that Kincaid and Joey are both like, you've got to stop this. Like, it's over. Like, stop. And you almost, even the way that they're telling her, it's almost like they're not just trying to convince her. They're still trying to convince themselves as well. Like, they're not sure really either. And they want her to stop before something happens, basically. But the opening itself is just kind of there. Nothing special.
Yeah.
But
they're afraid. All 3 of them
are
afraid. Even though Joey and Kincaid try to be like all cool and like, just stop bringing us in. You can tell that they're afraid.
Yeah, there's a concern there. From there, we kind of start then to get to meet some of the other cast in this film. Kristen goes to see her boyfriend Nick. We also meet his sister Alice. They're going to school. We meet Debbie, Sheila, Dan briefly. Kincaid and Joey confront Kristen again and warn her that if she keeps this up, she might bring Freddy back, actually. So we do see, like you were talking about, their fear here. And then we get Kincaid having his dream there in the junkyard. Dog pissing is what seems to resurrect Freddy. But then we get a pretty good battle between Freddy and Kincaid, where for a moment, it briefly looks like Kincaid might get the upper hand, and then Freddy takes care of him fairly easy. We cut right from there to Joey, also having a nightmare. He doesn't really have even close to the luck that Kincaid has. He sees this model in his waterbed, and then turns out to be Freddy, and Freddy kills Joey. So your thoughts here on we're meeting the cast, but primarily Kincaid's dream, his kill, and then Joey's dream and his kill. What were your thoughts?
Well, it happens fast, but I also think it lines up with their characters, right? Because Kincaid was always about strength. So you think he's going to win and overpower him, and then he doesn't. And Joey had the crush on the nurse. Remember in
Right.
part 3, and his
Right.
tongue's on the
Yeah.
bedposts.
So it
So
makes
it
sense.
fits the characters. It just
Yeah.
happened fast, and
Right.
there was no attempt or any means to keep them alive. It was going to play out that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're not bad. The kills aren't bad. I do think that one
Mm-hmm.
shot that you were talking about earlier with Kincaid looks good. I will tell you my problem with this. Um, the dog pissing is what resurrects Freddy. I think is, I'll just be honest. I think that's the dumbest thing.
It doesn't
I
make
don't
any
know.
sense.
It really doesn't. It makes no sense
Right.
to me whatsoever. And that's the first thing when I watch this movie now, I'm like, yeah, here's where we're really we're reaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure this is maybe it's supposed to be funny. Maybe it's supposed to be like, oh, that's what did it, but it doesn't work for me. I don't think it makes any sense. And it's my first problem with this movie.
It doesn't make sense. You think they could have come up with something a little more creative, like
Absolutely.
Friday the 13th part 6, the lightning strikes.
Right.
That makes sense. Like,
yeah.
I mean, not really, but it makes sense in the Friday the 13th universe. So
right.
I feel like they could have come up with something a little more.
No, I completely agree, and it could have
logical.
been as simple. I mean, they could have really done it simply, just to take out the foolishness in that, because we've always heard throughout this franchise is that the people being afraid of Freddy is what gives him his power. It's what brings him. Well, we know that Kristen's still scared,
agreed.
Obviously. And we're also seeing that Kincaid and Joey are confronting her, and they're like, hey, if you don't stop, you might bring him back. I think it makes more sense. It would have been better for it's the Dream Warriors' own fears of Freddy is what has brought him back. They're all obviously still afraid of him. So let's just do it that way. Let's let it. They thought they beat him. They're still scared of him. And because they're still scared, that's why he's back, rather than a dog taking a leak. It just makes so much more. It's very simple,
agreed.
But it just sounds better.
And maybe the introduction of the other new Elm Street kids could have. I mean, I know they're not really Elm Street kids because Alice is just bringing them in.
Right.
Maybe they could have done something more with that. They sort of did, because he's like, give me more.
Right.
But by then, he's already been resurrected by the dog.
Yeah. Completely
the fiery pea.
Yes. Which is just so odd to me, but that's fine. Kristen ends up learning about Kincaid and Joey's death, so she's pretty upset by this. Kristen then briefly has a dream where Freddy is a nurse. That's slightly amusing. We find out
yes, because it's Robert Englund.
It's Robert Englund, right? He's not actually in the Freddy
without all the makeup.
So that part is kind of funny when he turns and looks at the camera there. But Kristen kind of gets into it with her mom because her mom knows she hasn't been sleeping, so she ends up putting some sleeping pills in her meal. Kristen then has a dream, and here's a scene that I've heard people really are torn about. So Kristen, in her dream, she's out there on the beach, and then of course we get Freddy's glove almost coming through like a shark fin. We get Freddy out there on the beach for a moment, and then we get back over to the boiler room where Kristen pulls in Alice and is able to transfer her power to Alice before Freddy kills her. What are your thoughts here on the beach scene? And then, we both did talk about that we like the fact that she's able to transfer her powers, but the beach scene first, and then what happens in the boiler room?
Well, from a structural perspective, it makes sense because Alice is like dream someplace nice, and so Kristen's like dream someplace nice, so it works. But it's not going to end up nicely. I love, from an effects perspective, I love how she goes into the quicksand, then falls through the ceiling, but it's like flipped upside down, and then she has to crawl through the door and rejoin like the right side up world, kind of like a Super Mario game. I don't know. I don't really have a problem with it. I've never really thought about it that much in depth. What do you think?
Because I'm kind of torn. I think, like I said, this movie is where I think things start to get off the rails a little bit. I do like what you just said, the way she goes through the quicksand, then down through the ceiling, and we get kind of the turn, and then she ends up in the boiler room. I like all that. I think that looks good. And yes, what you said makes perfect sense. She's trying to, to dream of a happy place. She's trying to get someplace good. But then for some reason, the glove coming through the water and then through the sand and then seeing Freddy out on the beach, I'm just like, okay, It's just, I don't know. That part doesn't land. There's some people that love that scene. Freddy on the beach is a meme. I mean, you see this pop up all over the place. Some people really love it. Some people don't. I just don't. And I think it's because the dog pissing scene rubbed me the wrong way. And so now this little stuff like this, I'm like, I don't need to see Freddy out on a beach in the sunlight, sunglasses. Yeah, I mean, I'm just like,
it is weird.
Not where I need to see Freddy from. So it bothers me a little bit. I like what happens after. Like I said, I like the quicksand, the boiler room, that whole thing. Just the beach scene bothers me.
Yeah, and since you mentioned James Bond, I think Harlan had a missed opportunity there. Freddy could have come out in like a Speedo, like a James Bond moment. Then maybe people would like it more.
That would have been funnier. I mean, I would have appreciated that a little bit more for the
with
comedy.
Red and green stripes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, a red and green striped Speedo. That would have been interesting.
Oh my gosh.
It definitely would have been funnier. That would have worked for me just because that would have been hilarious. So now, as we said, Alice has the power. She ends up falling asleep in class, and poor Sheila. She pulls Sheila into the dream. Freddy is able to kill her, basically, just like sucks her breath away from her because Sheila has these asthma issues. Let's talk about that for a minute, and then we'll move on here. What are your thoughts on Sheila's kill?
I like Sheila. I feel like she should have had a longer, drawn-out kill. She doesn't even get out of the chair or really do anything.
I agree.
And when another arm comes around on the chair, because normally you just slide out of those old high school chairs that you would desks you'd sit in, couldn't you just climb out of it?
I would think so.
Anyway,
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, I'm trapped. I'm trapped forever." I'm like, you got a pretty big space. You can pull your legs up and climb out of it.
Yeah, it's pretty uneventful. I mean, I'd like that character as well, but it's pretty uneventful.
Suck face or whatever he says.
Yeah, then it's just kind of over. So, again, not that it's horrible, but it's just kind of uneventful and a little bit of a letdown, in my opinion.
A little bit in that one, yeah.
We get to Rick. Character. Yeah, she was. She seemed a lot of fun. I wish we would have got more from her. We get Rick having a dream. To start with, this scene bothers me a lot too, Aaron, so talk me off the ledge. To start with, he's in the bathroom, and there's all these cheerleaders in there around him while he's sitting there on the toilet. I don't really understand that, like why that's the way his dream started. That's a weird thing, in my opinion. And then the karate dojo and him fighting like an invisible Freddy, I thought was so silly. Eventually, Freddy does kill him. So yeah, let's talk about Rick's dream and then the karate fight.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they set it up really nicely because early on he's working out and he's all focused on sort of the physical fighting aspect. And I do love that Dramarama song, Anything, fantastic song. I love that music. I love that song. I kind of, I mean, I don't know. I mean, first of all, I was thinking, who would fall asleep going to the bathroom? But then on the other hand, they were up all night. So I guess they might just pass out. And it also doesn't make any sense. The coach is like, the gym teacher is like, let's go, let's get out on the court. And he goes into the toilet stall. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And that's,
I don't know.
Don't understand that either. Did you like the fight? Even though he can't see Freddy, the way the fight's working?
Well, I think Anders Jones is cool. So I like that aspect of it. But the invisible fight, I don't know. I mean, watching it back through this time, you could kind of tell as an actor, obviously he's just kicking the air and punching the air. And they added sound effects.
Right.
I think they could have done more with it. It would have been cool if Freddy revealed himself in some way, kind of like...
That's what I was thinking. If
like
we
a
could
head
have actually
on or something.
Yeah, if we could have seen Freddy. I mean, even if he's just in his regular Freddy outfit, I just think that would have been better to see, okay, this guy's, for a moment getting the upper hand. The fact that he can't even see Freddy and he's still somehow landing these punches and kicks. Again, this is an example of why this movie bothers me a little bit more because not meaning to repeat myself, but we go back to the dog pissing and then we get the weird beach scene. And now we've got Rick fighting an invisible Freddy and winning for a minute. It just, I don't know. This movie screams silly to me, and it bothers me a lot.
Yes. Well, imagine if Freddy had surfaced, appeared next to him, and then when the glove flies across the room, it flies on Freddy's hand, and then he gets him.
I
That would
agree.
have been
So much
more
better.
effective.
Completely
Yes.
agree.
I still love
Here's
the
though
Dramarama song though.
that's a good song. I agree with you there. Alice now starts to realize though that she's picking up the abilities and the personalities of the people that are dying, her friends that are being killed by Freddy. And then we get a scene that I don't mind too much. I think it's kind of funny actually. We get Alice having a dream. There's a movie theater, and then of course we get another one that I see on a lot of memes where there's the whole pizza thing, and Freddy's messing with the pizza there. I do like that scene. I think that scene is fun. Do you like that one?
I love that. I love when she gets sucked into the theater screen.
Yes.
She's like hanging on. Oh, and then the meatballs on the pizza.
Yes.
I guess they're meatballs because they're little heads. So
what it looks like. Yeah, I do like that. I really do appreciate that. I like that one so much more than the beach stuff. I thought that was fun.
And I like that they put an older version of Alice as the waitress.
Yes.
And she says something like, I don't want to be here forever. I forget the exact line, but I thought that was nice too.
I agree. We then get to what is not only my favorite kill in this movie, but one of my favorite kills in this entire franchise. I absolutely love the Freddy versus Debbie part here because Debbie's doing her workout. We've heard a little bit about how she doesn't like bugs. That's been mentioned a couple of times here. And so to start with, Freddy, like you said, her arms end up breaking and bones are sticking out of her arms. Freddy ends up turning her into this cockroach. While this is going on, we're cutting back and forth a lot because Alice and Dan are trying to get to her, and they kind of get stuck in this time loop. So we're going back and forth between them repeating what they're doing. But finally, Freddy ends up getting Debbie caught in this roach motel, and then he just crushes her. So gross.
And her face falls off into the goop. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
It is good. And I love that kill. Like I said, that's my favorite kill in this movie and one of my favorite kills in this franchise. What were your thoughts on, because obviously you really like this kill as well. What did you think about the time loop?
Yeah. Well, when I first saw it, I'm going back years, but I remember thinking, what the hell is happening? And it was kind of annoying. But now I get it as like a tool to kind of keep the kill going. And I love it when they start to realize that they're in sort of a time loop.
Yeah, when they realize what's happening.
And I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to talk about the car crash in a moment.
That's the very next thing I was going to mention. So yeah, go ahead.
But before we do that, I do want to say the kill with Brooke is drawn out and amazing. I feel like Sheila should have gotten something like that.
Right? I agree.
At least a little bit more, like have her run down the halls, or I don't know, something. Yeah,
I agree.
And going back to music, that Sinead O'Connor song, "Put Your Hands on Me."
Yes,
awesome. In fact, I didn't even know it was Sinead O'Connor singing that for years.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But I love that song too.
Yeah,
and I was so sad to see her go, but
yeah,
you knew it had to happen.
Yeah, we knew it was coming. And then you mentioned the crash. So yes, that's kind of how they try to get out of this loop here is they crash into this tree. Dan is severely injured, so he ends up getting taken to the hospital. What were you wanting to talk about as far as you mentioned the crash? Anything you wanted to
Yeah. So I interviewed Mick Strawn maybe a year or two ago, and he was talking about how they came up with that idea that they were all sitting around like the car crash, like they crashed into a tree or into a house or telephone pole. And he said that he just blurted out, what if they crash into nothing? And they ended up using I think wires, I forget exactly, but something that would kind of pull the truck back. And that's how it kind of folded forward in on it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was really cool to hear about the sort of the creative process of that. How about they crash into nothing, and it looks awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, very good. Next part, and I think after this I start to feel better about some things, but another thing here is we get Alice now. She's with Dan being in the hospital. Alice is preparing to fight Freddy, and so we get her suiting up basically. I mean, she's getting ready. I also thought this was kind of silly because she's basically just putting on some regular clothes, but we're playing this music like she's just really getting ready for this big showdown, this big fight. I just thought this was kind of silly as well. I don't know what your thoughts were.
Well, it kind of has to happen, but yeah, I mean, it is It is a little silly. Maybe it doesn't hold up as well as it
Yeah,
could.
that's
I don't
kind of
even know what song they're playing at that time, but I know it's kind of a let's go to battle kind of
yeah.
like
It sounded
Pat
like something you
Benatar
would
song.
hear in like something you would hear in a Rocky movie or Karate Kid or something. Is what we're getting
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Well, she's
She's
doing
rapping
her
like the
thing.
headband, and she's
Yes.
got like the what is that device that Sheila made? Is it like a bug
Oh, yeah, she mentioned
device or
something
something?
about that. It was supposed to, yeah, help with that. I forgot about that because Sheila did make that and give that to Debbie earlier, or was going to give
Debbie,
it to
yeah,
Debbie.
okay,
Yeah,
that's right. Doesn't Alice like strap it on in her
yeah,
pocket or like on her side or something?
yeah. So she's
Yeah.
got her weapon and everything.
Mhm.
Dan ends up having a dream here. Alice ends up saving Dan from Freddy, but he gets,
Yes.
he gets even more injured now, and so because he's now his body is starting to bleed there in the hospital, the doctors end up waking him up, which leaves Alice all alone. So now she's going to have to fight Freddy by herself, and so then we get Alice versus Freddy. Um, Again, I felt like this was pretty. It's not that it's bad. I just felt like it was compared to some other things that we have seen in previous movies. I felt like this was a fairly uneventful battle between
Yeah.
them. It really doesn't go very long, and then she basically just uses his reflection against him, which
Mhm.
causes all of the souls that he's captured to leave his body. Which this scene looks good. I mean, it looks good the way the
The
souls are
effects.
leaving his body, and
Hmm.
which is tearing him apart. The effects look great here.
Hmm.
I just wanted more from the battle because we even got the big build up for her to get ready to fight him, and her getting ready to fight him almost lasted longer than the actual fight. It just there
Hmm.
wasn't much there.
Yeah, well, I kind of like the acrobatic elements of it because she had like
Okay,
Kristen's desire to be an
true,
acrobat, but I,
right?
I
Yeah, that
completely
was so
hear
funny.
what you're saying. And they
Yeah,
tried to set it up with the reflection.
yes,
Like she was hiding, she didn't want to see the reflection, and then she kind of faced herself, faced her fears when
right.
she had to and stepped up. But did it really work? I mean, rewatching it last night, I thought, yeah, okay, he sees himself, but there are other opportunities for him to see himself. So did it
Yeah,
really make sense?
I
Not really.
agree.
It's kind of like the dog pee.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and that's I guess that's I just feel like this movie reaches a lot and doesn't quite hit. And we just keep coming up with new
mm,
ways to kill Freddy, yet none of these
mm.
ways really do work. But once she tears his
Yeah.
body apart through this, with the souls leaving, we then get Alice and Dan on a date now. Dan
Mm,
throws this coin into like a water fountain, a wishing fountain. Briefly, Alice sees Freddy's reflection, and we kind of hear the theme, and then it seems
mhm.
to go away. Alice seems fine, and we assume that Alice and Dan are going to have
Yeah.
this happy ending.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong? What were your thoughts on the way it wrapped up? Did you
Well,
like the
before we
finale?
say that, though, I
Oh,
do want to go back to the effects when he dies with the
yes,
bodies inside his chest. I don't know if you've ever seen like the behind the scenes, how they made that happen.
I have not.
Oh, it looks so cool. It was like huge, and they had real people pushing their bodies into the like the latex so that they would
Okay,
come through. And Linnea Quigley is
that's what I
one
was
of
about to say.
the
Okay,
actors doing it. So it's really cool. I've seen it a couple times. I think it's on YouTube. It's worth
okay,
checking out to see how they pulled off. Then, because the effects when he does die, even if it's very implausible, um, are just unreal. They're so
right.
good.
Yeah, yeah, and
The
with you saying that, I do remember. While I haven't watched that like you were talking about, I do remember hearing that Linnea Quigley had a part to play in that role, but I
yes,
wasn't 100% sure what they were doing there. So I may have to go back and check that out because I'd like to see that.
you can't tell it's her. When I first heard that Linnea Quigley was in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, I was like, are you sure?
Yeah,
Was she an extra? I mean, I guess she sort of was.
I guess so. Yeah, just completely different type of role.
Yes.
That's so
So,
funny.
okay, you asked me about the ending.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I don't
finale and how
know.
it wrapped up.
I mean, they had to do kind of a cliffhanger ending and dun dun dun, but then
Yeah,
Alice just like, oh, never mind. I didn't see anything. Let's
right.
go have our picnic.
Just move
Um,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that pretty much wraps up A Nightmare on Elm Street for The Dream Master. So before we try to rank this film, Aaron, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about that we haven't covered? Anything that's come to mind that you wanted to mention? Anything you could think of?
I love the opening song. I didn't look up
Okay.
who sings it, but Running from This Nightmare. I love that song.
It's Tuesday night.
Oh my God. I
Yeah.
think I did know that. I'd
Yeah.
forgotten. Yes. Okay. I love that song.
Yeah. Very
And
good.
there's also a Divinals song in there. I love the
Is there
Divinals
really?
too.
Yeah.
So
I
when
didn't realize they had a song in there.
when Kristen is pulling up to the house for the first time to pick up
Mhm.
Alice and Rick, is that her brother's name?
Yes.
Andrew's name.
Yes.
She's playing it in her car.
Oh wow, that part I missed. Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. The nostalgic factor is huge for me. I loved it as a kid back in the 80s.
Sure.
It's still just as fun. Maybe some of it's a little dated, but the practical effects, man, you can't beat them. There's no
Right.
CGI in there. It looks amazing. Although there is one scene I noticed when Alice climbs out the window from the second floor, like her brother did early on.
Right.
In 4K, you can tell it's a stunt double and not her.
Oh really?
And then the stunt double jumps down and she like pops up.
And
like,
she pops back up.
Here I am.
That's awesome.
I never saw that before until last night.
Interesting.
So,
yeah.
there you go.
Very cool. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like you said, there is some nostalgia there because I do really like Freddy. I have a lot of fun with Freddy, and this movie has its issues, as I've talked about. I mean, I've pointed out several things in this one that bother me. I still like this movie better than 2 because I'm just not a fan of 2. I still think this movie is more fun than 2, but I don't think this one even comes close to how much I like 1 and 3. I just really love 1 and 3. And then there's this one that's kind of in the middle of the road for me. Now, compared to some other stuff we're getting coming, makes this one pretty good. You look at some of those other ones, but there's some good stuff coming as well. So on the scale of 1 to 10, what would you rank A Nightmare on Elm Street 4?
I wish I could remember what I ranked the other 3. I think for Dream Warriors, I may have said a 9. So I don't know if it's quite a 9.
Okay.
I'm going to say an 8.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. And again, I know I just heard somebody the other day that told me that the original and then part 4 are their favorite 2 movies in the whole franchise. So there's definitely some people out there that absolutely love this one. And, we kind of established at the beginning that you liked this one more than I did. I don't dislike this film. I just find it so much more middle. There are more things that stand out to me about this one that bother me. Again, still like the movie. I still enjoy watching it. Still love Freddy. And there are some really good effects. I just felt like the kills, other than the cockroach kill, I felt like the kills were a little more lackluster. I thought some things in it don't make any sense. So for me, I can't score it as high as you do. But it's still, it's fine. It's a little better than average. I would give it a 6. So I'm going to say 6 out of 10 for part 4. Just not one of my favorites in the franchise. It's got some good stuff in it, but overall I find myself questioning a lot as well. That just keeps it from being quite another level there. So still fun. Still, I mean, it's one that, the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, whenever I go back, I mean, right now, obviously I'm going through them for you and I to talk about, but it's one of those franchises that I always revisit somewhere along the way. I have a tendency to skip 2, but I always watch 1, 3, and 4. I always watch 1, 3, and 4. So even though I've pointed out some issues, I still watch this movie probably once, at least once every couple of years. I check this movie out just because I love Freddy.
It's fun. Yeah. I mean, Alice is an amazing final girl, especially in this one. Part 5 isn't quite as good. But it does have the gnarly motorcycle kill.
It does. I completely agree with you there.
Cool. That's cool.
And that was going to be so much fun to talk about. I will try to get you some dates pretty soon for.
Oh, hell yeah.
Go back. Now, I know you said, you mentioned recently you have a vacation coming up in August, correct?
I do, yes.
Okay.
So we
may not get to, I don't know if we'll get to part 5 in August or not with things you have going on, things I have going on. But if not, first part of September, we'll knock out 5. We'll get it knocked out pretty quick. And then,
that works.
And then we'll just keep going from there. So, that'll wrap it up for A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. You were going to say something?
I was just going to say, thinking back, now that we've done 1, 2, 3, and 4, do you remember how you would rank all the others? I don't remember exactly, but I would probably
You
go.
know, I know my ranking where these first four are concerned. I know exactly how I would rank them. It's been a long time since I've seen 5 and 6. I really like New
Mm,
Nightmare. I do
mm.
like New Nightmare. I enjoyed that one a lot. Um, I'm not sure where I would put these next couple. I'm trying to think. What is the 5 is called?
Well, no, I was just meant like the first four. Like I'm
Oh, do
thinking
I
I
know
would
how I would
do
rank them?
what is it, 10, 7, 9, 8, maybe. But I don't
Okay,
remember exactly what I said for the other
10,
three.
7, 9. Oops. Yeah, I gave the first one a 10. I believe I gave 3 and 8.
Okay.
And then I gave 4 or 6. I think I gave the second one like a 4. I just really don't like that second one.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think I gave it a
Well, that
pretty
makes
low
sense.
score.
Yeah.
But
You're
yeah,
not alone. Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
yeah, you're not alone.
There's a lot that don't. It just there's so many different. I don't like the idea of Freddy as a possession. I like it much more as a dream thing, and that's a
Mhm.
possession movie with Freddy.
Yeah,
I
in a
just don't think it works.
weird sort of way.
Yeah, I just don't think
I
it
know
works.
I know part 6 gets a lot of hate, but the intro to part 6, the whole dream sequence is one of my favorites.
Okay, very
Yeah.
cool.
But we'll
Yeah,
get
I'm
to
looking
that.
forward to. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going through the rest of them, and the plan is here. We'll get through them all, including that remake. We'll also talk Freddy
I
versus
can't wait.
Jason. We'll talk
I
Freddy
was
versus
going to
Jason
ask.
as well.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Plan on talking about that one. And then once we get through all of them, what I would like to do, if you're open and all to it, is I'd like to bring you back and us do a live stream together where we just talk about the whole franchise
Absolutely.
and give
Yeah.
our ranking of the films. At that point, we'll rank them and how we like them, and we'll just do it as far as a
I'd
live
love to.
stream. And yeah, I think we might even see if I don't know. We might see if Frank wants to come on and rank them with us. I do that occasionally when I have, like for
Yeah. Oh my God,
example,
that'd be awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Brendan and I did, which one was it? Brendan and I did the Candyman films. It was just me and him that went through the 4 Candyman films. But then when
Mhm.
we did the live stream to rank them, I brought on that horror couple as well. And so they
Oh,
came
nice.
on and we all 4 talked about the whole franchise and all 4 gave a ranking of where we would put those. So we might see if Frank wants to join us and talk about the
And
whole
maybe
franchise.
Tiana, although she
Sure.
is,
Yeah.
if the
Depending on what
the
her
new edition hasn't come
yeah,
yet.
yeah, because she's got the whole baby thing going on. But yeah, get our group from our normal collectors lives to come on and talk about the whole franchise. Might be
Oh,
fun.
dude, let's do it. I'm so
Yeah.
down. And then
Yes.
maybe we can pick another franchise if
Sure.
you're willing. I'd love to
Absolutely.
do that.
Yeah, we will figure it out for sure. All
Awesome.
right. Well, before we get off here, though, Aaron, go ahead again. Please take a moment to promote your channel. Talk about anything you might have coming up.
Absolutely. Aaron, A&B Horror Movies on YouTube. Ira Hayden just posted, so check that out, who was the Wizard Master from Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And again, Aaron's Movies 857 over on Instagram, and also AB Horror Movies on Instagram too.
Absolutely. Yes,
There
definitely
you
go
have it.
check it out. Always great content, great interviews. So definitely go check out Aaron. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Always putting good stuff up on. I love your the Instagram things I see for you where you do the this or that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, those are so
I've been
much
having
fun on
fun with
Instagram.
those.
Yeah, those are
Yeah,
fun on
yeah.
Instagram as well. So definitely go
In,
check it out.
in
Follow it on
fact, the
everything out there.
one I'm posting that's already have gone up when this comes out is Tucker and Dale versus Evil or The Final Girls. I know
Oh,
you said you
nice.
don't like horror comedies, but those are two fantastic
Tucker,
horror comedies.
I don't think I've ever seen The Final Girls. Tucker and Dale is pretty fun. I'll give
It's
that
so
one
good.
some credit. That's
Oh, you should watch The Final Girls. It's hysterical. They go into like a Friday the 13th type movie. They
okay.
get sucked into it. It's really funny.
I need to give it a watch at some
funny.
point. Then I'll have to check it out. But yeah, definitely again, go check out everything Aaron's got going on. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow him on Instagram. Always great stuff out there. Let's see what I have coming up. So later this week, Sarah and Kelly from the Final Girls podcast will be back with me. We'll be talking about Final Destination 2. They're going to do that franchise with me, and we've just done the first one so far, so they're going to be back to talk about the second one. I mentioned that horror couple. They are going to be on with me this week as well to talk about Halloween Resurrection. We've been going through the Halloween franchise, and so we've made it to Resurrection now. That'll be a fun one to talk about.
That's cool.
More good stuff next week as well. Trying to think very soon. It won't be this week, but the following week. The guys over at Horror 365, Jimmy
Yes.
and Swift are both going to be on with me, as well as Cece from Cece's Horror. We're going to be doing a live stream where we talk about the first Leprechaun movie. the three
Hell
of them and myself will talk about the first Leprechaun, and that'll be a live stream. So a lot of fun stuff coming. Be sure and subscribe so you don't miss anything. Follow me on social media, pretty much on everything out there. Just search Sean's Horror Corner. You can find it all. Leave me some comments today. Let Aaron and I know what you think about A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Is it one of your favorites? Because a lot of people really enjoy it. Do you find it more in the middle? I'm just always curious to know what other people think. So subscribe, like, comment, share, hype, whatever you can possibly do it. And I will see you soon.